Did you know that your kitchen trash can actually holds the secret to a thriving, pest-free garden that outperforms any chemical spray you can buy at the store? Most households throw away hundreds of dollars every single year in the form of food scraps and everyday pantry staples that possess incredible, scientifically proven power to nourish plants and defeat destructive garden pests. It is a heartbreaking mistake to watch families, backyard growers, and small-scale farmers spend their hard-earned money on synthetic fertilizers and toxic pesticides when the ultimate solutions are sitting right on their kitchen countertops. When you understand the natural energy locked inside everyday household items, you can completely transform your growing space without spending an extra dime. You are about to discover how to turn what looks like garbage into pure gold for your soil, creating a lush, vibrant sanctuary that hums with life and abundance. Before we dive into these incredible secrets, I want to invite you to join our growing family by subscribing to the channel so we can continue sharing these practical, natural remedies together every single week. It would also mean the world to me if you could take a quick moment to drop your location down in the comments section below. Whether you are growing from a specific city, a quiet rural village, a bustling district, or anywhere across the globe, we have an absolutely beautiful community of passionate gardeners and dedicated farmers tuning in from every corner of the world. And knowing exactly where you are watching from helps me understand the diverse climates and soils our global community is tending to. It is truly fascinating how the simplest things we overlook every day can completely revolutionize the way we grow our food and care for our plants. Most people throw away their used coffee grounds without realizing that these dark, aromatic grains are a powerhouse of nutrition and protection. If you open your refrigerator or look near your breakfast station, you will find this precious resource waiting for you. The reason coffee grounds work so brilliantly is rooted in basic soil science, as they are packed with residual nitrogen, magnesium, and potassium, while their rough, gritty texture and strong aroma act as a natural deterrent against soft-bodied pests like slugs and snails, who simply refuse to crawl over them. To prepare this remedy for a standard backyard bed or balcony pot, you just need to collect about 2 cups of used coffee grounds and spread them flat on a baking sheet to dry completely in the sun, which prevents mold from forming before application. If you are a home gardener, you can gently scratch these dried grounds directly into the top inch of your soil, around acid-loving plants like tomatoes, berries, or roses, letting the rich scent of coffee mingle with the earthy aroma of freshly turned dirt. For farmers operating on a larger scale, you can accumulate these grounds from local cafes and blend them directly into your compost piles at a ratio of about 20% of your total pile volume, ensuring a massive boost of slow-release nitrogen across your entire field when the compost is spread. The best time to apply coffee grounds directly to the soil surface is early in the morning, right before a gentle watering, and you should repeat this process once every 3 to 4 weeks to maintain optimal soil structure and keep those pesky slugs at bay. But here is where it gets really interesting, because another spectacular goldmine is hiding right inside your morning routine, and it comes in the form of discarded eggshells. Every single time you crack an egg into a skillet, you are holding a natural capsule of pure calcium carbonate that your plants are absolutely desperate for. Calcium is the foundational building block of plant cell walls, and without it, you will inevitably face the dreaded blossom end rot that turns the bottoms of your beautiful tomatoes and peppers into black, sunken mush. To create a highly effective calcium remedy, save at least a dozen eggshells, rinse them thoroughly with warm water to remove any residual membrane, and let them dry until they are completely brittle. Once dry, crush them using a mortar and pestle or a kitchen blender until they turn into a fine, powdery dust that looks almost like flour. If you are tending to a kitchen garden or balcony pots, place a generous tablespoon of this white powder directly into the planting hole when transplanting your seedlings, or sprinkle it in a protective ring around the base of your established crops, where the sharp edges of any larger fragments will also deter crawling insects. For small to medium-scale farmers, Looking to apply this across an entire acre, you can dissolve this fine eggshell powder in a mild household vinegar at a 10-to-1 ratio to create a water-soluble calcium citrate solution that can be pumped into your irrigation lines or backpack sprayers. This brilliant remedy should be applied right at the beginning of the flowering season to give your crops the strength they need. And a single deep application at planting, followed by a mid-season side dressing, is all it takes to guarantee structural integrity and vibrant, disease-resistant growth. Your grandmother probably knew this next one, but somehow it got forgotten along the way as commercial products took over the shelves. If you walk over to your pantry right now, you will likely find a simple box of baking soda, which is actually one of the most potent, non-toxic antifungal weapons ever discovered. Powdery mildew can destroy a lush garden in a matter of days, leaving a ghostly white coating on your squash leaves, cucumbers, and pumpkins that blocks out the sun and suffocates the plant. Baking soda works by drastically altering the pH level on the surface of the leaf, creating an alkaline environment where fungal spores cannot physically attach themselves or multiply. To prepare this classic household remedy, dissolve 1 tablespoon of baking soda into 1 gallon of clean, lukewarm water, and then stir in a single teaspoon of mild liquid dish soap, which acts as a surfactant to help the liquid stick smoothly to the slick surfaces of the foliage. Home gardeners can pour this mixture into a standard hand trigger spray bottle, ensuring they thoroughly coat both the tops and the undersides of every single leaf until the solution is dripping off the tips onto the dry earth below. Farmers can easily scale this recipe up for their tractor-mounted or backpack sprayers to protect entire rows of susceptible crops before the damp, humid weather sets in. For maximum results, you should spray your plants with this protective shield late in the evening, after the hot sun has gone down, to prevent any leaf scorch. Repeating the application every 7 to 10 days, or immediately after a heavy rainstorm has washed the protective layer away. Most people throw this next item away without realizing what it can do for their soil, especially after a relaxing evening by a backyard fire pit or a wood-burning stove. Wood ash is an absolute treasure trove of potassium and vital trace minerals that can instantly sweeten acidic soil and stimulate robust root development. Potassium is the element that regulates water uptake and drives the cellular mechanisms that produce large, juicy fruits and vibrant, colorful blossoms. To safely use this household byproduct, ensure the ash is completely cold to the touch, and sift it through a fine wire mesh to remove any large chunks of unburnt charcoal or debris, until you are left with a soft silver-gray powder that smells faintly of campfire smoke. If you are a home gardener working with raised beds or container pots, a very light dusting of this ash, about a handful per square yard, can be raked into your soil ahead of spring planting or scattered around heavy-feeding root crops like carrots and potatoes. For small-scale farmers, wood ash can be spread evenly across large plots, using a broadcast spreader at a rate of roughly 10 to 15 pounds per 1,000 square feet. Provided your soil test indicates a need for a higher pH, it is critical to apply wood ash during a calm day when the wind will not blow the fine powder away, preferably right before a soft rain is forecast, so the water can naturally drive the nutrients deep into the roots. And you should limit this treatment to once a year, in the early spring or late autumn, to avoid over-alkalizing your growing beds. Now, let us step back into the kitchen pantry for an item that is famous for its culinary kick, but doubles as an extraordinary natural insecticide. Common garlic cloves contain a highly volatile sulfur compound called allicin, which produces a pungent, intense aroma that completely overpowers the sensory organs of destructive pests like aphids, spider mites, and whiteflies, forcing them to flee your garden instantly. To brew a highly effective garlic defense spray, take 2 whole bulbs of garlic, crush the cloves completely to release those medicinal juices, and steep them in a quart of boiling water for at least 24 hours to create a deeply concentrated extract. Strain the liquid through a fine cheesecloth into a glass jar, and when you are ready to use it, mix 2 tablespoons of this potent garlic water into a quart of clean water, along with a few drops of vegetable oil, to help it adhere to the plants. Home gardeners can utilize a small mister to apply this aromatic shield directly to infested ornamental flowers and vegetables, while farmers can mix large batches in 5-gallon buckets to load into their field sprayers for broad-spectrum pest deterrence. The ideal time to apply this pungent spray is in the cool twilight hours of the early morning, when pests are sluggish and inactive, and using it once a week will create an invisible, aromatic barrier that keeps your crops beautifully untouched. If you look right next to the garlic in your kitchen, you will often find onions, which can be paired with another common household item to create a dual-action insect repellent that costs virtually nothing. Onion skins and hot chili peppers contain intense capsaicinoids and sulfur compounds that mimic the natural defense mechanisms of wild plants, creating a fiery burning sensation that deters chewing insects and larger garden visitors alike. To make this fiery potion, chop up 3 large onions along with 3 or 4 hot chili peppers from your spice rack, toss them into a blender with a quart of water, and liquefy the mixture completely before letting it sit overnight. Strain the fiery, golden liquid carefully through a cloth to ensure no pulp clogs your nozzles, and dilute it with an additional gallon of water. When you apply this in a backyard garden using a handheld sprayer, you will immediately notice the sharp, spicy scent rising from the wet foliage, creating an environment that aphids and caterpillars find utterly unlivable. Farmers can spray this natural repellent along the perimeters of their fields to create a protective border that deters wandering pests from entering the main crop rows. Apply this fiery mixture during the late afternoon, every 2 weeks, and always remember to wear gloves during preparation so you do not accidentally rub your eyes after handling this incredibly effective household remedy. There is another legendary liquid sitting right in your medicine cabinet or under your bathroom sink that can rescue a struggling garden from the brink of disaster, and that is standard 3% hydrogen peroxide. While it is commonly used to clean minor cuts, this simple molecule is actually just water with an extra oxygen atom, and when it comes into contact with damp soil, it releases that oxygen in a powerful burst that eliminates harmful anaerobic bacteria and cures devastating root rot. If your container pots or field crops look yellow, stagnant, and waterlogged after a period of heavy, suffocating rain, hydrogen peroxide can literally inject a breath of fresh air directly into the root zone. To mix a safe and effective drench, combine 1 cup of 3% hydrogen peroxide with 1 gallon of clean water, stirring gently to ensure it is fully integrated. For home gardeners tending to potted herbs or raised beds, pour this effervescent mixture directly onto the soil until it runs out of the drainage holes, allowing you to hear a faint, reassuring fizzing sound as it sterilizes the root environment. Farmers can apply this treatment to specific low-lying, poorly drained sections of their fields, using a drenching wand to rejuvenate suffocated crops. This remedy should be applied during the coolest part of the day when the soil is damp but not baked by the sun, and using it once every 2 weeks during rainy seasons will keep your root systems pure white, exceptionally strong, and highly efficient at absorbing nutrients. As we journey through these incredible household solutions, it becomes beautifully clear that nature has provided a perfect remedy for every single obstacle we encounter in the growing journey. Whether you are tending to a few delicate pots on a high-rise apartment balcony, cultivating a vibrant, food-producing kitchen garden in your backyard, or managing acres of green field crops to feed your local community, these timeless secrets belong to you. I want to say a profound and heartfelt thank you for being such an integral part of this channel, and I highly encourage you to subscribe right now if you haven't already, so we can continue to grow wiser and closer to the earth together. Please do not forget to share your location in the comments below, because seeing our shared passion connect a balcony grower in the city with a large-scale farmer in the countryside is what makes this journey so incredibly special. Make sure to tune in to our very next video, where we are going to